Yes, just getting a report. Allison Chinchar is here with me. Allison, we're getting a report of a roof blown off a building up in Woodlawn in the Montgomery County region. That storm is now just east of Clarksville. Did that come in from EMS?
It did, and they're not saying whether or not it was a home. We don't know if it was a structural building. We're not really sure. It just says that the roof is literally picked up and
just blown off.
Several feet off the entire roof.
So that gives us an idea just how strong these winds are. And you're looking at it coming through the Guthrie area, Sanga alone. This storm that's coming out of Hickman County into Fairview here in the next couple of minutes, Leapers Fork within the hour, and the Bellevue area within about 50 minutes. And again, Bellevue we keep tracking from different angles for you. I know that can be a little bit confusing, but that's because we have several cells working your way. Again, you'll see me put this circle on from time to time. This is looking into our information and looking at wind data. What you see outside of the scope is the rainfall information. That can tell us a lot about whether a storm is possibly rotating, but then I can look at the wind data and see clearly that we're looking at the reds. They use the red winds to show winds moving away from the radar and the greens to show it moving toward the radar, obviously in opposite directions and showing a threat of rotation. The radar scope itself is up here at Old Hickory Lake. I'm looking from the Nashville radar site just there in northwestern Wilson County. So it's getting pretty close, and it should have a very good look at this particular storm as it comes from Hickman County into western Williamson County. Folks there need to be taking cover immediately. Also, as Allison mentioned, we do now have tornado warnings up here in eastern Montgomery County and into Robertson County because of this storm line that has already produced damage there in the Montgomery County areas. And Woodlawn had a roof blown off as we while there is a lot of rain still on the backside, and flash flooding is also a concern. This area of bright red, that's where the strongest winds are going to be. That's a fairly skinny line, so hopefully it will come and go very quickly.
And Lisa, we do want to let folks know, because we are getting a lot of reports that there's a lot of power outages in Montgomery County, Stewart County, and even here in Davidson County as well. We want to let you know,
western Murray County, you are on the back side of that squall line, and it is moving quickly, but as you said, just torrential down, driving difficult.
Oh, it was incredibly difficult. The wind, the rain, literally up under a bridge. It looked like it would slack up and take off, and then another round would. Finally just had to park. It wasn't on a bridge. I just parked on the side of the interstate because it was so bad.
Okay, well, we appreciate the updates there. That cell is moving up basically Highway 100, getting closer to Davidson County. Now you can see it up around Fairview Boulevard and approaching the Davidson County line with very heavy rains and those winds Jerry was talking about. Keep us posted, Jerry.
okay,
go ahead, Allison.
we did want to give you some updates. Well, we now have a tornado warning for Cheatham, Davidson, and Williamson County.
Okay.
And that's until 10 o'clock tonight. It was located near Fairview,
right,
just about 13 miles southeast of Dixon. It's moving northeast at 60 miles an hour. We do want to let you know also we have in Dixon County, there was a report of a tree in a home.
That's what Jerry was talking about, yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, there's a lot of, they're saying wind-related accidents all along I-40 between mile markers 163 and 176.
That's because we're talking about miles per hour, and then you're also looking at tornadoes embedded. So this is not surprising that folks have really had a difficult time, and we're going to hear some damage reports out of this that are pretty widespread.
And we want to thank some of the folks who are sending pictures in, you know, to the pics at WKRN.com and also sharing them on Facebook. But we do want to emphasize, and Lisa said this earlier, please don't go out and take these pictures until after the storm has passed, especially if we do have any of these tornadoes. You know, we have a lot of
Franklin. The winds have picked up there in the Franklin area. Let me do a quick track on this particular part of the storm squall line, if you will. We are looking at it being mainly from Franklin north that we have the tornado warning. There could be some spin up in those areas between Franklin up through Vaughn's Gap, up across the Trace, up into the Belmead area, but it looks like this squall area will come into Franklin proper. Looks like here just within the next couple of minutes it's really going to impact folks in Franklin. Looking at 5 minutes that the winds get really squally, very gusty, and could produce some quick damage. I know they're gusty now, but I think you'll see them push a little harder in the next 5 minutes time frame, and the rains will get a little bit harder. There's a little bit of a break in those extremely heavy rains right there. can see there's a break to where it just goes to orange. That's heavy, but those dark red shades, that's where it's really heavy and very likely could be producing some at least small hail as it marches eastward through northern Williamson and southern Williamson. Franklin with a little bit of a split there, but I wouldn't let my guard down. Thompson Station looks like that should be about 6 minutes from you. The Arrington area about 16 minutes from now. Arno, Trinity 16 to 20 minutes. College Grove within about 21 minutes. Nolensville about 28 minutes from now. Triune a little more than a half hour from now, and you can see on over to Almaville and Smyrna in that 40-minute time frame. So it is moving at a pretty steady clip, and I admit it has been a difficult one to storm track because of the changes in speed out there tonight with this. So that gives us a little extra work to try to manhandle that a little bit and keep an eye on what's happening there. Just taking a look again at this potential rotation that has warranted the tornado warning. It's coming out of northwestern Williamson County right along the Davidson County line. These areas from Brentwood there around Pegram and Kingston Springs, Fairview. I think the threat is over for you, but Franklin is getting closer to you. Brentwood, Oak Hill picking up there, Belmead, Green.
So again, these are very powerful storms, and they continue to slide east into the Nashville proper area. And again, this hasn't even reached I-65. So it was past 65 and eventually gets to the Cumberland Plateau. And because the move faster than perhaps earlier thought, going to reach the Cumberland Plateau at 12:30 tonight.
All right, they're moving pretty quickly, more quickly than we had initially anticipated. And actually, that is good in many respects because folks are usually still up and got the eyeballs on the television set. So good news in that particular time we see these little bows out in the storm, that indicates we're getting some very high winds. So we know we've got some high winds up here. We've already sort of interrogated our radar imagery just a little bit. We can see folks over in Auburn, the reflectivity indicating some very heavy downpours, and we know we've got some very windy conditions as these storms march towards the east, northeast, and 40 to 50 miles per hour has been the general rule tonight. We expect this storm to move towards you in Rockville at 9:50, around Hilldale.